This is part two of the CCU controllers paint controls. We ran out of storage on the first video, so this just continues on. So we're just going to pick it up where we were using the fine paint display, and on this display, what I was explaining was that we can select between gains, gammas, and lifts or blacks. And it can then show us we can show us 3 different or 4 different modes actually. We can see it in a slider value, and this slider value can be increased or decreased in range just by tapping the. You'll see that's ×1. I'll just use my finger and tap it again. ×2. So you can go to ×3, ×4, and what it does is just gives you a magnification of these red, green, blue, and luminance of the gains, or gammas or blacks if they're selected. So if I go all the way to maximum, which is ×8, you can see that any small change is going to be much more seen in that range. So if I hold my finger down to go to ×10, you'll see we're seeing the values. And with this, let's just say we've painted the camera, and that's the way it's ended up. You can see we also do the gains themselves. You can see there's the camera now painted very pink. And of course, as we change between the cameras, we can just push the select button on the top of the paddle, and you'll see it switches between the different cameras, and you'll see the values will change accordingly. So if I go to say camera 3, and we do some gain changes again, let's just do something really radical here. There you go, something like that. That's camera 3, which is down here now. You can see it's kind of gone more greeny blue, as seen by here. And then if we just go back to say camera 1 will not only switch it on preview, but it'll also switches it back up on our display here, so we can quickly switch between the 2 cameras and work out what the differences are between the knob settings, etc., etc. So that's one set of displays, and as I said, they're all controlled by just pressing the display to change the times value. Let's go ×8 again. Now you can see over here we've got these are rotary displays of the same. They're not affected by the times value, so they're just the raw true values. And I think from memory, 0 is, there you go. Well, this one over here is on 0. So facing at the 3 o'clock position. Is that 3 o'clock? Anyhow. That's all unity. So if I actually go back and just reset everything here, well, actually I'll do them one at a time. Where am I? Down here? Okay. So I can reset the red just by pushing the red button. Oh, sorry, I got to hold down the camera button as well. So I'm on camera 3. See if I can do this. Oh, I can. My hand's going to be in the way. I'll do it this way. So just hold down and press red, green, blue, again for alright. So now you'll see they've all gone back to 0. So all our levels down here are all set to 0. See there's a little yellow marker here that indicates where default 0 is, and of course as I change the gain values, you see that will move as well. So you see now the default position is down right down the bottom here because I'm on ×1. And so the range is from 0 to the maximum, because you can go up to 16 times gain on the Blackmagic settings. So basically, yes. So that's where those displays are. You've also got numerical values down here. These are actually the ATM numerical values. They don't make much sense in as much as they're not a percentage or anything. But they give you the ATM numerical value, which is the most finest detail you can get, and in gain mode, 2129 is the ×1 value of gain. So so that's the 3. Now the 4th display is basically the same as what you get on the ATEM's CCU control. up here or up over there. So it's basically the same. And in fact, if I come back here, see if I can come back here, just not too much. I don't think I'm going to get it all in. I was just going to show you the. I'll just do it. I'm just going to use the mouse and just start dragging this this thing around, and you'll see as I do that, it's doing the same down under here as well. I really need to go into coarse mode so you can see it. Now with the, where am I framed up? Now when you're in this particular mode, as I said, this is just showing the gain. You can just touch the top and it'll switch to gamma, and it'll switch to lift. So you can just quickly switch between all three variations to give you to display whatever. You can see this. I'll just go and push one right out. I've got to be able to hold my finger on the shift button on the keyboard. All right, let's just do it like that. But anyhow, so subsequently you've got those four different modes of displaying your colorimetries of your colours. But as I said, in most cases you wouldn't be using any of those at all. You'd be just using your eye to do your grades. Now to come out of this mode, to get back to, just press the top camera. I'll do it with my thumb. There you go. It'll take you back to paint mode, and then you can just press it again at the top, and it'll just take you back to your normal camera settings modes. A little later on, I haven't done it yet, but a little later on I'm looking at invoking this joystick, which is mainly used for doing your pan and tilt. I'm going to invoke that to be doing paint control as well when you're in, come over here. When you're in this mode here, you'll be able to see basically whatever you move on the joystick will move your the cursor over here as well. And something I haven't mentioned before, which you might notice, is lights flashing over here. These are kind of being used in a diagnostics situation, but in fact I'm thinking of leaving them in, because the red LED, this is displaying us when data is being received from the ATEM. So if I grab the, let's come out wide here because you'll be able to see that. If I go and grab the, say one of these controls on the gamma where in the game where it's sending out a lot of data, it's actually, you can see the red light flashing on here indicating it's receiving a lot of data from the ATEM, and the blue light indicates the amount of data that's going out to the ATEM from the CCU control unit. So if I just grab one of these knobs, you'll see it's flashing away there because it's sending a lot of data out to the ATEM. And let me just they're on camera 3. That's why I'm not seeing that. Let me go over to camera 3 over here, and I'll go to gamma. So just here you can see it's me moving the gamma knob. Gamma adjusts around, and it's doing the same thing over here. So if I say move the gamma all the way up to here somewhere, you can use the shift key on the keyboard to do a coarse version of this, but I don't have that hand free. So I'll move the gamma up to there, and of course when you come back here, you see that's showing you where that gamma is. There you go. That's basically paint. So shortly I'll be doing another video. I don't know which particular thing I'm going to be working on. But there's an example of really badly coloured cameras, which I can very quickly paint them back if I had two hands available.